Hello, Year 4. Happy Friday. I hope that you're all okay and have enjoyed this week so far. It's been a great week. You have smashed it, and I'm really excited for our great assembly later today to celebrate all of the amazing things that you've been doing, both in school and at home. So well done, guys. Okay, so I have got your final maths video for the week. We have been looking at area all week, and so as a quick rewind, we have looked at the fact that area is, well, perimeter is the space around a 2D shape, and area is inside, so it's the shape, no, it's the space that a shape takes up. So some things take up greater space than others, so they have a larger area. For example, oh, I could use books. One second, I'm just in the little library, I could use some books. There we go. So these two books both take up some space. This one takes up less space than this one. So this has a smaller area as a shape, and this one has a larger area. And then I would also say, I mean, you pause and have a little think about it. If we were looking at perimeters as well, which one do you think has the largest perimeter around the edge? Got the largest perimeter. So area, as a rewind, is the space that a shape takes up. So some areas take up lots of space and some take up a little space. So that's what we've been looking at, and we've been looking at how to find the area. So we've been counting squares, and then sometimes they get rid of the squares inside, so we have to use the edges, the squares around the edge, to help us work out what we've got. And we've also looked at, in rectangles, we can use our multiplication knowledge, because it's like using, it's like doing an array. So if it's 3 squares along and then 3 squares down, we know that's got an area of 9 squares. So we've done lots and lots of learning this week, and this is our final lesson where we are going to compare two different shapes and see which has got the biggest or the smallest area. So let me share my screen. Okay, guys, so this is our Discover. We are looking at a game, and the shape of the largest area is going to win. So we're looking for the biggest area out of Danny and Olivia's shapes. So find the area of each shape for me so that you know who is winning for question A. So 1A, we want to know who's got the largest area. And then for question B, we want to know which is larger, the area of the board that is covered. So that will be both of their areas, because that's covered the board. So both of their areas, or the blank white squares that is not covered. So is the covered section of the board larger, or is the blank section of the board larger? So pause the video and have a go at those for me. Okay, so Olivia's is 17 squares and Danny's is 16 squares. So Danny's has a slightly smaller area. Olivia's area of 17 squares is the winning shape. And for question B, which is larger, the area of the board that is covered or the area of the board that is not covered? I have not worked that one out yet. So I'm going to pause the video and work that out for you, and then I will tell you the answers. Okay, guys, so to find the area of the board that is covered, we needed to add together Danny and Olivia's areas to find the whole area. And that was 33 squares. And then I've counted the squares of the rest of the board to see the blank squares to work out the area of what is not covered. Now, you might notice that where the speech bubble of Olivia is, it covers up some of the squares. But I know that you guys can imagine that behind there are some squares. So you can see that the speech bubble takes up it covers one whole row at the corner, and then it covers half a row there as well. So I would say that above that yellow shape, there are 9 squares that are covered and partly covered. So I know that you can imagine that bit for me. So I worked out that there were 48 squares uncovered. So that means that the largest area is the area of the board that has not got anything covering it. So that is the answer. Okay. And there we go. I just worked out and it's on the next slide. I could have saved myself some time there, guys, but I wanted to join in the learning with you. So the area of the board that is covered is 33 squares by adding together I'm looking at B here, sorry, adding together their areas. And so then right at the bottom, you can see that 33 is less than 48. for Think Together number 1, I want you guys to have a look at those. Pause the video for me and count the area of shape A and count the area of shape B, and then fill in that number sentence with a greater than symbol. So pause and have a go at that one. Okay, I'll go through the answer for that one first of all. So the area for shape A is 18 squares and the area for shape B is 19 squares. So your number sentence should read as 19 is greater than 18. So shape B has the larger area. Now for question 2A, you are being asked to find the area of each of those letters. Now I have a question for you. Am I right or am I wrong here? Can you convince me? I think that for the letter A, I need to count the blue squares and then those squares inside the A as well, because that's part of the shape. Do you agree or do you disagree with me? Okay, I could hear some of your explanations, some of your convince me's, and I think you are correct. I think I don't need to count those because they are not actually part of the shape. The shape has a gap in the middle where there is no shape. So the shape does not take up that space in the middle, it only takes up the letter space. That's quite hard to describe. Sorry guys if that doesn't really make sense. So we're only counting the blue squares for the letter A, the green squares for the letter S, and the red squares for the letter T, because they are the bits that your shape is taking up. They're the spaces that your shape takes up. It does not take up any of the other squares, even the ones inside it. So letter A is 23 squares. Letter S is 21 squares, and the letter T takes up 17 squares. So ordering them from smallest to largest, pause and have a go at that one for me. And if we were to order them from smallest to largest, we would start with the letter T, then we would have the letter S, then we would have the letter A. Well done. And we have a challenge for you. So I want you to pause and have a look at this. Astrid thinks that she's won and she's got a greater area on her L shape, on the purple shape. Flo thinks that actually they need to check because Astrid's just used her eyes and just said, mine's bigger, I've won. So Flo wants to be very accurate. How can we accurately check that answer? That's what I'd like to have a go at for me. Okay, so you can, even though there are no squares inside the shapes, you can use what's around the edge to help you work it out. So for example, I'm going to count how many squares down the L shape is, and it is 1, 2, 3. I'm putting my finger on the screen because it's making sure I'm counting accurately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that bottom of the L, 9. So it's 9 down, and then I'll count across as well, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So Astrid's is 18. And to be accurate, we need to count in the same way to find out Flo's. Now Flo's is 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. And we know that 4 down and 5 across would create an array of 4 and 5. So 4 lots of 5 is 20. So 4 lots of 5 is 20. So actually, Astrid thinks she's got the big one because it looks very large, but it doesn't take up as much space as the letter as Flo's. Flo's has got a greater area because it takes up more squares. It takes up more space. So that's something to be wary of, that although one might look bigger, it's not necessarily the biggest area. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that screen with you. And hopefully now it's back onto me. I have learned from my mistake because I have realised that in the last few months videos that I did, I was talking through your independent bookwork, and on my screen I could see it, but on your screen you couldn't, because on the way that I'm recording these videos, you can only share one screen at a time. So sorry about that. But what I can tell you is that you will be going straight into your workbook and having a go at those. And if you do need any help, just let us know on Dojo, and I can help you that way. Because rather than me explaining something that you can't see, you may as well get straight on and have a go. So in the description, it tells you which pages you need to be working on for this lesson, and it is our final area lesson. So if you would like to, you can also complete the end of unit check, which comes on the page after this lesson. Okay, so enjoy, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you very soon, guys. Well done for smashing this area. It's tricky to teach and learn online, but you have smashed it. done, guys.